Welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're taking a look at HyperBrawl Tournament on the Nintendo Switch. This one, it's a futuristic sports brawler as you aim to win, but you have no concerns about taking your opponents down, literally. So with that, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family and let's get started. So HyperBrawl is set within a futuristic world where the universe's greatest heroes have gathered to compete in a showdown for the ages. Did not add a story segment to this video because that is it, and it makes sense. It sets the scene and lets you and your teammate get to work. So the idea here is simple: get the metallic ball and throw it into your opponent's net in arenas that somewhat resemble Speedball from back in the day, and even like Rocket League, which was noted as an influence from the devs behind this. Having been in production now for 4 years or so, just looking at the HyperBrawl Twitter account, the passion is clear, and I'm gonna say now they've delivered here a fun experience that doesn't quite feel like anything else out there right now. Controls here though, simple stuff. You can dodge, punch, kick, pull off a range of special moves from devastating attacks to shields that will block your opponents, and then of course like movement, passing, and a throw at goal which you aim with the right stick. The throw, it can come at different strengths and is represented by an arrow that grows like around your character. The longer you hold the trigger, the stronger the throw gets. Full speed throws though, expect these to turn into attacks as they will KO your opponent in seconds. What makes this somewhat unique though is the fact you do get a health bar at the top of the screen and a special meter, so you can't just spam those specials, and you should probably avoid getting punched in the face. The health bar, it depletes quickly, and before you know it you will be KO'd and waiting for a few seconds to again respawn. The controls are great, and while no doubt there's a slight learning curve, you'll not only be jumping all over the arena, but recognizing this arena can be used to your advantage, like bouncing the ball off the walls at the opponent's open net. My favorite part of it all though, it's the HyperForce. Nice name, but all it means is you can basically manipulate the ball in flight. You'll do this with the right stick after you throw it, and it's super satisfying to curve a goal around an obstacle or the opposition to go ahead and score. Between punching, kicking, scoring, and occasionally of course wiping out your opponents, it's an incredibly fiscal experience that just nails that arcade feeling. I went in hoping for like a Speedball clone, a game I loved, and it captured a lot of the same energy that hooked me on that one back in the day while still feeling very different. So rounds here, they last 1 minute and 30 seconds, and for such a short time you can rack up a serious score with the clock stopping on every goal. Online, the winner is the first to dominate 2 rounds. In arcade, you'll face that same thing, the first to 2. In Korea though, it is ramped up slightly and it's the first to 3, which no doubt extends the gameplay, but in this case that is a good thing. While I do talk modes though, that is the key for arcade is quick matches where you can play locally up to 4 players, or of course with like an AI teammate and opposition. Korea is a 14-week season where you work your way up the rankings before taking part in a tournament. This Korea also offers 3 different difficulty options just to give you, reason to go back. And then finally, online play. These are quick fire matches, no sort of leagues or anything else, but they do have daily challenges. They reward you in XP that goes towards your level. Likewise, any win, actually no matter the mode, rewards you also with an in-game currency, and this can be used on loot boxes or to purchase, like cosmetics and accessories. So here, think like new skins or maybe the color trail of the ball. There's even a couple of characters that are locked for when you reach those higher levels, so there's definitely a lot of motivation here to keep you playing. These characters also have 3 different classes: the all-rounder, the fast and lightweight, and then the tank. But then on top of that, they also have customizable weapons. My go-to strategy was going on the offensive, and for that reason I found serious happiness when I wielded a big old hammer and occasionally, for lack of a better term, Hulk smashed my opponents into oblivion. That said though, what played a bigger impact in the gameplay than I expected, as I mentioned earlier, were the 12 arenas. While they have the basic empty floor plan, so many of them have obstacles, some moving, some not, and these will not only mess with your team's position for that next goal, but also lead to some strategy. How can I use that to my advantage? Can I throw it off something and bounce it into the net, or even can I almost hide behind it and confuse my opposition? These are great arenas that all feel very unique but purposeful in their design, demanding something different of the play. Another thing that I'm sure will play a big part in the challenge as well, I played most of my time single player, so I was controlling both players, freely jumping between the two. But when you involve a second player, a friend on the same team as you, you've got to keep that communication going, you've got to talk to each other. On that note, actually as well, to like get this two-player going, there's a very simplistic lobby on the main menu, and it works perfectly. Overall, I've got to say, for the most part, it felt very good. There's some wonky AI in the highest of difficulties, so they seem to be just like diving all over the place. The only other issues I mentioned, menu stutter when you select a hero, and then the respawn, it can be annoying because often they would respawn like right in front of the shot. That's me kind of being picky though. For me, generally, it captured exactly what I wanted, an arcade experience that is fast-paced and ridiculous, you know, but simply fun. Doesn't have brains, but when you get online and you punch and kick your way through your opposition, it's just all extremely satisfying. The only question now is, how will the online community be? The content is decent, but I'm not sure just for like single player it would keep me coming back without the online element, and this is always like sadly a concern as a Switch owner. I've had no issues myself so far, literally non-stop games, but will that be the case, you know, 1 week, 2 weeks after release? In these scenarios, I'll always say try and pick it up alongside a friend, or at least know there is some risk here. From what I can tell, there also is no crossplay for this one just yet outside of Apple devices, because this is an Apple Arcade title too, and that's where I was a tiny bit surprised by the price tag. In the US it's like $23, $24. When you factor in Apple Arcade is only $5 a month, that's a pretty big jump. Now don't get me wrong, here you do kind of get to keep the game to a certain extent, but yeah, still feels a tad high in my opinion. So graphically speaking, I like it. Each arena is based on a single screen, and yeah, it's got a lot of variety, from neon washed futuristic arenas to desert landscapes to even like skyscraper settings. Not a huge amount of detail in them, but they do add some nice touches to the background to give you a sense of, you know, what this world is like. Characters then, attacks, in gameplay, gotta say it's solid as they rush around this field. 75% like trying to win, 25% simply trying to survive, but they definitely know how to like swing a punch. The only issue I do have, the image is nice and sharp and just clear, but occasionally when everyone was like firing attacks and throwing the ball, it was a little bit easy to get lost in the action. This board, it doesn't particularly stand out against your player or the opponents, so yeah, I would say I kind of found myself just searching the screen occasionally, especially in a handheld. Menus then, stylish, clean I guess would be the best way to put it, easy to navigate, give you everything you need. I do particularly like the records page and character screens. Here you get a ton of like unlockables to find, which are all cosmetic, and yeah, it's nice for sure to kind of mix up the visuals a tiny bit. My only ask, fix the lag on the hero selection screen, and also build on the detail. We have some great arenas here and an attempt at backgrounds, but I definitely still see like opportunity for more. So audio then, and it's generic but not bad. Occasional futuristic effects for the ball flying through the air, effects for like the attacks, you know, it brings the desired weight you would expect. And the music then, it's all very like synthwave-esque, but nothing too catchy. It makes sense though, given the theme, and it definitely matches the intensity of the game. Problems on the audio front, the announcer is a pain in the ass, super annoying, says the same thing over and over again. You know, the first time you hear a joke, it's fine, not on like the 100th time. Clearly this was recognized though in development and in the audio menu, where you can turn off the announcer or simply turn them down, and you'll probably want to. This is a really nice touch and not one we see often enough. Overall, HyperBrawl Tournament, I went in with high hopes, ready to kind of be disappointed. Reminded me of Speedball, a favourite memory of mine, and expectations, let's face it, were like really high. Can tell you this though, it is for sure not Speedball, but it is incredibly entertaining. It's fast paced, the online and career addictive with that just one more go kind of mentality, and these minute-and-a-half matches are just extremely frantic, and I couldn't help but like have a smile plastered across my face as I broke away for a goal. That said, it does have a few issues. Like I said, the higher difficulties, the AI kind of gets weird. They just start diving all over the place. The menus have some slight lag, you know, the animations as you're looking at the character, it doesn't carry over to the game, so it's not that big a deal, but it is there. And then the AI like spawn placement, when you get KO'd, it just drops you straight in front of the goal, and often that would stop so many of my attacks, but likewise that'd stop my opponents as well. Otherwise though, honestly, I'm going to be heading back. It's simple enough that anyone could pick it up and play it, but no doubt there is still a lot here to master. Now all we need to see is that community online stay active, and I hope it finds its fan base, because this one absolutely deserves it. I just question now whether that price tag will be a little steep for some, and I do understand that. I think maybe the $15 mark here would have been the sweet spot. Today I'm going to be giving HyperBrawl Tournament a good 7 out of 10. I've had a great time with this one, and I will for sure be going back at it online, no doubt about it. If they could fix up a few of these areas though, this could easily become a strong recommendation from me. With that then, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.